Hi, welcome to the third video of My Boss is Best series, traits, habits and successful practices of my bosses that you can learn from. 10 days into my first full-time job, I presented the findings of my first project, meant to analyze the retention patterns of certain acquisition cohorts. Don't think I was ever the smartest one around, so it anyway made me very nervous. But we had an audience, my boss, her boss, the CEO, head of digital marketing, the super smart dude who ran the acquisition marketing piece, not to forget the CFO and the COO who happened to join by call. Pretty much everybody who by the end of the meeting would really regret hiring this newbie fresher. I could barely find the filter function on Excel, my hands were trembling and I kept changing slides at supersonic speed. What more, to overcompensate, I authoritatively instructed all those smart people in the room on what they should do, even though I had absolutely no clue about what I was talking about. To top that, I also drowned out the poor CEO while he was trying to make a point over the call. It was the most crappy first performance ever in the history of mankind. At least that's what I thought, till I got this mail in the evening. The CEO in that room was Ankur Warikoo, somebody with whom I pretty much shared a direct reporting relationship for the entirety of my stay at nearby.com. This incident is one of the million incidents that solidify Ankur's reputation as a brilliant mentor and people's person. But Ankur's ability to lead people, encourage young people, inspire are things I will not talk about today. Quite often, in his role as a motivational speaker, a thought leader and influencer, people tend to forget how sharp and methodical he was as a CXO. His business acumen aside, there were traits that made him exceptional as someone leading an organization, and I'll talk about 3 of those traits today. Number 1, structured thinking. Ankur might have left consulting quite some time ago, but consulting never managed to leave him. On most days, he was very clear and precise about the outcome and output. Before every meeting or project briefing, the expectations were clearly defined, but never did he entangle himself in preempting the solution. The guideline to the team was simple: marry yourself to the problem, do not chase the solution. During reviews or meetings, he crystallized things much better than many of the specialists in that room could, purely because he could break down the problem into simpler pieces and put them into perspective. Typically, the flow would be something like this: have a hypothesis, use the frameworks like some of his favorites, the 2x2 and the decision trees, to analyze the data that was prepared to test that hypothesis. Go on and test that hypothesis, review the findings, move on to a new hypothesis if you find something new, or you act on the existing hypotheses based on how sufficiently indicative the results are. The second thing that Ankur was amazing at was maintaining a strong emotional equilibrium. Very difficult to wake up with this ability one fine morning, and as it requires a lot of practice and patience over a long period of time for anyone not naturally like that. Ankur was almost MS Dhoni monk-like in his emotional responses to highs and lows. In his tenure as the CEO of Nearby, the company went through 2 rounds of terrific fundraise, once from Sequoia, the other time from Paytm. However, there were also 2 terrible rounds of devastating layoffs, but both the times, Ankur's public response was extremely poised and neutral, not bringing the house down with happiness or crying his lungs out of grief during the down times. The third thing he was exceptional at was time management. Probably continues to be till date. He shuttled between meetings, seldom being late for one. In the midst of all of that, he replied to almost every email that he received in a day, engaged with his followers on social media, and stuck to his fitness regime that involved quite a bit of a diet. It's almost superhuman to expect someone to maintain so much balance, almost like an imaginary switch just went off in his head while he was moving between all these activities that competed for his time. But that's how he was. So what's the secret? He said no to more things than he said yes to. And in his words, that was the best gift that he could give himself: control over his time. These are my 3 big learnings from Ankur Warikoo. I'm sure, considering how active he is on social media, there are much more things that you can learn from him directly. Till the next My Boss is Best video post, that's all from me, and it's me signing off.